good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 1305. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Fun night of baseball last night. I did not watch the Dodgers and Mets, but I did catch the Yankees Guardians. Last night, I was actually rooting for Cleveland. Now, I want the Yankees to win the series, but I want the series to go along to buy me some time to sell more cards of these players. And I still need to get some of my, like Jose Ramirez, John Noel, some of those cards up in my eBay store. So I was actually rooting for the Guardians. They came back. Exciting game. Noel hit that 2-run home run, bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs, ties the game, and then Cleveland wins in extra innings. That was a fun game. My wife I had it on. My wife even goes, "Did he just tie the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth?" I'm like, yeah. How about that? So that was fun. Ran some errands, took Ernie to doggy daycare yesterday morning. And so it just so happened that Costco opens up at 10, and took Ernie to doggy daycare. And guess what? Doggy daycare and Costco are separated by like a half a mile. So actually it's more than probably a mile, maybe a mile and a half. Anyway, it's close. And it's right between my house and doggy daycare. I popped into Costco, 10 o'clock. Man, that place is packed. Like, there's people waiting at the door, waiting for the doors to open at Costco. I figured there'd be like, and yesterday was Thursday. I thought maybe Friday would be like that, but Thursday. So I popped in, got a great park. You can get great parking spots, though. While there are a lot of people there, not as many as Saturday at 1 o'clock. So went into Costco for one mission, but 2 items. I was looking for 2 items. So it wasn't all for, well, the trip was all for naught. Spoiler alert. I came home empty-handed from Costco, but my intentions were to buy 2 different things. Now I know they had one of those things in stock, and they probably had the other thing in stock. But the reason I made a dash yesterday morning was for the Donruss football mega boxes. And I talked about this yesterday, and we've probably already seen, I haven't monitored it yet because after I struck out yesterday at Costco, I'm like, screw it, it's too late, because I think prices are already dropping. Because this was it would be a fun rip. I would enjoy the rip, but this is something that I'm not just going to rip. And let's see, 2024 oversize downtown. I guess I don't even have to put 2024 in. Let's see the latest solds on the oversized downtowns. Those come 1 per mega box. So we've got a Travis Kelce. Where's Brian? The latest sale was already down to $37. Where were they? Yesterday morning, they were at like 60 or 70. So they've already been slashed in half. What Brian was saying, I'll wait till next spring when they drop to $10 to $20. Well, that might come sooner than even I thought. Like, by Christmas they'll be down to $10. Yeah, they might be down before Halloween. Let's see. We've got Sam Laporta's down to 35. Brock Bowers is down to $35-40. Oof. Brock Purdy sold for 50. Roma Dunze was at 40. All right, so be careful. Caleb Williams down to 125. Now that pays for 2 boxes. Yeah, it pays for 2 boxes. Well, after fees and everything, wouldn't quite cover 2 boxes, but buyer beware. Just like I mentioned yesterday morning, buyer beware, because those are going to be dropping like flies, and they already have. They've actually dropped in price sooner than I expected. I expected by the weekend that these prices would be down because it's Costco. Costco is a warehouse. there's pallets of these at every well, maybe one pallet, but a lot of boxes. No, Costco does not limit. There's been multiple stories now where people are buying the entire pallet. I think there's 250 boxes in a pallet. So I went in yesterday. My intention was to buy 10 boxes. I'm glad I didn't, seeing how fast those prices dropped. I'm glad I didn't. I also needed salt for our water softener. And so I go through the front, and I made a mistake. I made a mistake when I entered Costco, because typically when I go to Costco, like, I'm usually going to the back, whether it's food items or beer or necessities like toilet paper, paper towels, water softener, salt, which is all in the back. So, of course, the front is the TVs and all that crap. And then they have the stuff right up front where people are just like clogging the aisles. I'm like, oh, socks are on sale, Harold. And it's like, get out of my way. I want to go to the food section or the beer section. So I cut through. So my play at Costco is, while everybody's going straight and following the single line, I veer off to the left and go the path less traveled. Well, I did that, and then I realized, oh shit, these football cards are probably up front somewhere around here. So I curved back around. I'm looking. And when you're looking for something that's like a hot commodity at a store, if it's baseball cards at release or if it's a toy at Christmas time, you always think like, oh, I bet they're looking for the same thing I am. I used to do that like during the boom of retail. Like, I'd be going in, I'm like, I think they're here for cards too. So you're trying to beat them into the store from the parking lot. So I'm like looking around thinking everybody's my competition for these Donruss boxes. So I didn't see any. I went through every toy aisle, didn't see any. I did see like the Pokemon trick or treat things. So I went back, and I'm like, all right, screw it. I'll just swing back around on my way out. There was water softener salt, but it was like in a pallet at the pallets are stacked this high, and the water softener salt's all the way, or it's up on the top shelf still in the shrink wrap. And I'm like, I saw like a ton of water softener salt, but none on the floor. And I could have, but it was like right at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, I don't need it. It was basically just to set it aside so I didn't have to go out and buy it when I need it. So it's like, I'm not going to deal with asking somebody. I'm here for cards, right? And if there was easily accessible water softener salt, I would have grabbed a couple bags of that. So I head back up to the front. I'm looking around. There's nothing, but up front, near where the Pokemon packs were, there were a bunch of like pallets of stuff that needed to be stocked. And I could have went and asked somebody, hey, do you have the football cards? But I'm like, you know what? And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I wasn't aggressively looking for the football cards, because especially now as I see the prices, like, oof, that would have been a tough resell. So I'm glad I didn't find any. Andy sent me the link because we looked online. When you go to the website, the Costco website, I don't think, at least yesterday morning when we did it, it wasn't. But then somebody showed me the link. Andy showed me the link, and it populated. So I looked at Middleton, which is my nearest Costco, and it showed, it was out of stock online, but it showed in stock at my Middleton warehouse. So apparently it was probably in one of those boxes that was yet to be stocked. I looked at Verona Costco, out of stock in Verona. I'm like, oh, okay. So my plan was, before I looked at that, my plan was I had to run some errands and I had to be kind of close to Verona. I'm like, I'll swing over by the Verona if they had any in stock, if it said in stock, but it said out of stock. So I just avoided that trip altogether. I thought maybe I'll go back this afternoon and check it out, but I didn't. Last night, I checked the link again, and this time it said Middleton store out of stock by last night. So either there was a run or somebody just came in and bought the whole pallet. But there's going to be so much, because this is just a Costco exclusive. And think of all the boxes and all the Donruss that are being made just for Costco. And then there's going to be retail made for Walmart and Target and other retail places. And then there's going to be hobby boxes. So there's just going to be a whole bunch of Donruss out there. So in hindsight, looking at some of the prices and how fast they've fallen in just the last 24 hours before the weekend even hits, I'm very happy that I didn't. Now, I would have liked to buy. I'm glad I didn't buy 10. I would have liked to have like 1 or 2 to open, but I'm glad I didn't buy 10 and then have to recoup $600 on Donruss football, and it would have been difficult to do that. So struck out at Costco, but at the end of the day, that's good. That $600 capital can be used tomorrow at the Madison Card Show. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. I've got 140 dealer tables. Our 2 ballrooms, Williamson Ballroom on the first floor upstairs, both the mezzanine and in the Williamson Ballroom. Show hours 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free admission. Early birds are welcome. I do have, I think I've got a few first-time dealers to the Madison Card Show tomorrow. Trying to sprinkle in first-time dealers with when some of my regulars are out. Let's see, going through. We've got some of our regulars. A couple that set up last month for the first time. A couple are back after a few months off. Actually, just a couple first-time dealers tomorrow. I think 2. I think only 2 first-time dealers tomorrow. But a few dealers that haven't set up in Madison for several months. One, I think, is only set up once, and he's got some really good stuff. One set up for the first time last month. Oh, another one set up who has vintage set up in like June, and that's the only time he's set up. I got a text. I've been screening dealers when people reach out because I am, it's a good thing to have where you can be selective on which dealers you want in. And, it is primarily a sports card show. And I want to keep, Pokemon, I think, is important to the card show. Obviously, I have great Pokemon dealers, and I want to keep the Pokemon to a certain amount. I want to try to keep modern dealers to and I'd like to get, my priority is vintage. I'd like to get a few more vintage. I'd love to get a couple bargain box dealers in. But we have a few good ones. So just kind of screening, like, what I can put you on the waiting list, what type of inventory do you sell? And I had a good text conversation with one who's got some good vintage. And so I think I'm going to get him in the November show. So it's a good place to be, where you can be selective and pick and choose, what type of dealers you want in the show. So kind of going about that, because I want balance. I don't want it to be overpopulated by Pokemon, and then sports dealers, sports customers don't want to come. Well, it's all Pokemon. I've heard a lot of complaints about other shows where it's all Pokemon. Hell, I hear complaints about Madison. There's too much Pokemon from Pokemon people. Complain about there's too much Pokemon. Modern vintage people, like, there's not enough vintage. And that's, and so I want to kind of get a nice balance. I think every one of those is important. Vintage is important. Modern is important. Slabs are important. Supplies are important. Bargain boxes are important, but you just don't want to have too much of one thing or the other. So it's a good spot to be in, where I can pick and choose and be selective and try to get the right fit of dealers into the show on a monthly basis. And I do like to have a little bit of turnaround on dealers from month to month. Oh, this guy wasn't here last month. I know everybody wants to most people want to set up every single month. And for the most part, that's also important. It is also important to have your regular dealers on a regular basis, especially if they're turning inventory over. But it's dealers that have the same stuff every month. And then I didn't sell anything. Well, you had the same stuff last month and you didn't do well last month. Get some new stuff. So Madison Card Show tomorrow, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive, 140 dealer tables. Let's talk about the eBay store, 99centcards.com. Check it out. Buy 7 or more at regular price. In the Buy It Now section, you'll save 25% off at checkout. I had another batch of auctions end last night. The last couple nights of auctions have saved my sales. Still below what I'd kind of like to be, above my target, but I haven't adjusted that target. But if it wasn't for my auctions, my sales would be subpar. And I know why. It's what I've been listing and frankly, what I haven't been listing. So that's something I need to take into consideration. I have been focusing a lot on auctions lately. So I think I need to, once we get through the weekend and I can get caught up on shipping next week, early next week, then I'll put a focus on doing some buy it nows. I got to list more in Collx. I haven't listed any new cards on Collx in a week. Find me on Collx 1 Million Cubs, COLLX. And I've got Ryan Sandberg auctions ending tonight on eBay. So 135 Ryan Sandberg cards. There's a few that have there's a couple that have one's bid up to $15. And I'm like, why is this so high? Is it serial numbered? I got to go look. But one's super high. There's a couple other cards that are higher than I expected. And then some don't have bids that I'm like, I can't believe this doesn't have a bid. But that's how auctions roll. Speaking of auctions, our friend Porter, I think he's in the chat. He had a pretty big hit this week. The Paul Skeens, numbered out of 25, auto relic. He put it at auction. And my strategy, he employed a strategy that I would use. I think I'm not sure if you put it at buy it now, but kind of if I hit something big on release day of a new product, my strategy would be, because typically I'm probably opening during the day. I don't want to just immediately put it up for auction at noon on a Wednesday or Thursday. So what I would do if I hit something big, I would put it in my eBay store at a high price, buy it now or best offer. I'd start fielding offers for, 12 hours, 8 hours, however long, until 8, 9 p.m. Central Time. And then I'd switch it to auction. I'd fish for offers. I kind of probably have a price range in mind and go about it that way. And then by 8, 9 o'clock, I'm going to flip that over to a 24-hour auction. And because you want to be the first to market on new product at release day. And I'd flip that to a 24-hour auction. And then from that point on, you just cross your fingers. And I kept an eye on Porter's auction yesterday, and it sold for less than I thought it would. I probably would have put that at $1,000 or best offer, or maybe even $1,500 or best offer. It was a Paul Skeens rookie patch auto, and numbered at 25. So I would have put that sucker at a high buy it now price or best offer and let it ride at auction. Porter let it ride. It sold for, I think, 400 and what was it, 450, somewhere around there, 475 maybe, which I thought it would go for, at auction, maybe 700, 700. So it fell below. And sometimes that's the chance you take with auctions. And there's also there's a double-edged sword on release day auctions, which I've been bitten by this, where you put it up at 24-hour auction. You want to be the first one. It gets chilled. Buyer doesn't pay. and now it's 4 days. It's like 4 days. So you're a week behind if the buyer doesn't pay on an auction. That totally fucks you on a release product. So that's the chance you take. Hopefully Porter's buyer paid. But if not, what I would do is, well, you have to wait. That's the shitty thing. You have to wait and then put it at buy it now. And, you know, you may have lost that first to market or early market prices. And sometimes I've also been bitten by my own greed, where it was Allen and Ginter. Shit, this would have been whatever year Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza were elected to the Hall of Fame. And in Allen and Ginter that year, I pulled a booklet auto of Piazza Griffey numbered to 10. And I put it, did I have that at auction? I had it at auction. I think I only ran like the 24-hour auctions. Now, this was where you had more freedom as a seller. You could cancel. This was almost 10 years ago now, where you could, like, if the buyer didn't pay within like 24 hours, you could cancel it and relist. So you'd send messages like, hey, can you pay? And so that's what I did. You know, I just canceled. Of course, it's like 16 feedback or whatever. But when I had it at auction, I had offers of like $400. And I'm like, I'm going to let it ride at auction. And the first auction, I think it went unsold, but like 575. So I'm like, oh, I can get more. You know, I was like I'd take 500. You know, I wasn't going to take 400. First auction, 575, buyer doesn't pay, cancel it, relist, auction again. This time it goes for like 500, like right on the dot. Again, I'm getting offers, $400. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to just let it ride. Again, $500, auction, had to cancel it because the buyer didn't pay. By this point, it's now been like a week. Put it up at auction, and this time it sells for like 300 on the dot, $300. And I had offers a week prior for 400, and I'm like, nope, wanted to squeeze that 500, but live and learn. So sometimes that's the risk with auctions on new release product. And it really sucks for sellers today because we don't have that freedom we did 8-10 years ago on, you didn't pay within 24 hours, we're canceling the order. Which it should in today's age. And with all these automatic, and I guess you could set to automatic, the buyer on this item has to pay, which helps. So I guess that's good. But you would think like you could have more freedom in canceling the sale after 24 hours instead of waiting 4 days. But I guess in something like that, you put automatic payment required, and I don't deal with, because I'm typically not ripping that much new product and not hitting big hits like that, where I've got to move this in a timely manner. I'm dealing with $2 cards where I'm hoping people buy 20 of them or more. And I don't want them to, if they send me offers, I don't want them to automatically pay every time. So you get a little auction talk. We've got George in the house. What's going on, George? Hey, it's Friday. We're going to play Name That Player coming up. It's today's fun. We've got it's pretty much all modern today. Pretty much all modern, but a mix of football, basketball, and baseball today. Lewis, good morning. Todd's in the house. Good morning. Andy Mack, just had my first Casey's breakfast pizza. 6.5? Get out of here. What? You must have had the bacon. Which one did you have? There's two kinds of Casey's breakfast pizza. There's the bacon, which, yeah, I'd probably go higher than 6. But I mean, really, the bacon, I'd say max 7.5. At most, 7.5 on the bacon. Not a good pizza. Not a great pizza. It's okay. But if you get like the standard, like sausage, egg, and cheese or whatever the basic one is without the freaking bacon, that's where it's at. So I've got to know, because if Andy had the bacon, I'll agree with you. But if you had the other, the sausage, egg, and cheese kind, That's like a 9.9. Although, and Andy is I had so the Crystal Lake, when I was in Crystal Lake, the last time I had Casey's breakfast, probably the only time I've had Casey's Pizza in the last 6 months. After a Club 400 event, I hit up the Casey's in Crystal Lake. And I don't even think I would have given that breakfast pizza a 6.5. So it does depend. It does depend. So if you had the same type of pizza that I had at Crystal Lake Casey's, like 6.5 would be generous. Like that was like a 5 at most. And I had the regular, the good, the supposedly good kind. So I can understand. So I'm not going to give you too much beef here. Because if you had the bacon, like even on a good day, 7.5 at most on the bacon. But the other, like on a good day, that's a 9.9. But I've had a shitty Casey's breakfast pizza, Crystal Lake, the last time. The crust was like not the typical Casey's pizza crust. It was like hard. It was like it was left out overnight. It's not good. So Andy could have just had a bad pizza. Jody, good morning. Kyle, good morning. Hope tomorrow was a great day on John Nolen Drive. Hear, hear. I'll drink to that. Mr. Archer, what's up? Brian says, what? 6.5. Orlando, good morning. Low Roller Scratcher checking in. Did you buy more sports card Halloween packs at Costco? No, I did not. Keep an eye. Halloween sports card box will be a huge discount after Halloween. I've been thinking, I haven't pulled the trigger. I've been thinking about getting a couple of those boxes to actually do what their intent, the intention of those packs. Hand them out at Halloween. But also tape the Madison Card Show on the pack. And then, we'll have our bucket of candy and then, or cards. Do you want Pokemon and basketball cards? Here you go. And then little advertisement for the Madison Card Show. As we get closer to Halloween, I think I will do that now that I think of it. Tracy, good morning. Thanks for the cards last night in your auctions. Picked up some 80s rookies I'd been waiting to get. Thank you. Yeah, had some good 80s rookies. Coming up next week, my Tuesday night auctions, I'm going to have some more 80s rookies. I'm going to put a 82 Donruss Cal Ripken Jr. rookie at auction on Tuesday night. I've got the 84 Donruss Don Mattingly, and I think there's an 84 Topps Don Mattingly going to go live in my Tuesday night eBay auctions. And of course, we stream live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central to watch those auctions count down. Peter, happy Friday. What's up, that dude from Duryea checking in? Merle says, were you too early for the rotisserie chicken? I think I was. I avoid the food section. If I'm not there for food, I avoid the food section, mainly avoiding the piles of people crowding the aisles. And so I avoided the food section yesterday. Max says, you see the pictures of guys with carts full. Yes, they took the flatbeds and, piling up the boxes. Brian says, Kelsey is all but mine. Hell, by Monday, you might be getting a Kelsey oversized downtown for 10 to 15 bucks. David's in the house. Good morning. Let's see. What's the where's my eBay at? Let's do a little. Let's share the screen. Let's see the lowest priced on Kelsey. There we are. Let's see. Oversized downtown Kelsey. Oh, where it's sold. So let's. Oh, nope, still unsold. There we go. Listings and lowest. So there's one at auction. Ends next week. A couple at auction. All right. So a lot of auctions. Let's check out buy it now prices. Sealed Travis Kelsey oversized downtown. So it looks like the prices are already, you can get them for that one It's in a sealed. So this person probably just bought a whole bunch and just didn't take photos. It's like, yeah, this is the oversight. Pull a Kelsey out of the inventory. We just bought a case of a pallet of them. $38 or best offer. So, but there's some auctions. Let's go back to the auctions and see ending soonest. So one ends later today. It's up to 20, like 26, $27. But if you wait a few days, if you practice some patience, wait a few days, I think by Monday they'll be sub $20. Max says, guessing Costco doesn't limit. Appears not. Andy says, some Costco set a limit yesterday, I believe. I ended up going after work, grabbed 2 boxes for my son's birthday. I mean, I would love to have like 2 boxes just to rip, but it's like, by this point, it's like, because for me, it's not just about the rip. It's also like, I want the fun rip, but also make my money back. And, you know, the Bears have a bye week this week, so it's not even like I can watch the Bears game and open some Donruss football. So that's out of the question. But maybe if they drop in price, maybe Blowout's going to buy them and they'll be $10 a box at Black Friday. Okay, maybe not that. Donald Davis, good morning. John Myers in the house. Thank God it's Madison Card Show is tomorrow, Friday. Yes, Madison Card Show, John Nolen Drive, tomorrow, 9 to 3. Dan says, do you guys buy a pumpkin to carve and put on the porch? Dan's guess is no. Your guess is correct. No, I don't think, I think a couple times we bought pumpkins just to put out on the front porch, but we certainly don't carve. We don't have time to carve pumpkins. No carving. We don't like really decorate for holidays. Like Christmas, we'll, do a Christmas tree, a wreath, and that's about it. Halloween, we don't do anything for Halloween. A couple times we've done pumpkins, but it's like, T206 kids in the house. I actually prefer Sam's Club over Costco. That self-checkout app on the phone is amazing. Scan as you go. Interesting. We don't have a Sam's Club anymore. We had one, and it was lost in those round of Sam's Club closings a couple of years ago. And then we got a second Costco, which was nice because Costco ended up getting more flooded with Sam's Club memberships dropping locally. They opened a second Costco in Verona, so it's nice. And I actually prefer the Verona Costco, but it's significantly like the Middleton Costco was like literally down the road, like 5 minutes. And well, I can go, if I go the back way, there's only one stoplight. So if I hit a green, it's probably 5 minutes or less. Verona, though, it's probably looking at 20 minutes to get to the Verona Costco. Dan says, my guess is no. That is correct. The Sam's Club app saves even more and saves time with no checkout necessary. I hate to give them any props, but it's true. Porter is here. Good morning. Brian's in the house. Good morning. Cooter, what's happening? Good morning. Watching a beautiful sunrise over the Gulf of Mexico. Only one more morning before heading home. That's a bummer. Max says, lucky your shit gets stocked down there. And I don't even know, like retail-wise, I don't even know if stuff is getting stocked. I can tell you that the Walmart, the closest Walmart to my house, doesn't get stocked. Like there's nothing. It's barren in the card section. It's also like very small card section. The Monona Walmart, like never. Well, I haven't been there in a while, but the last time I went, it wasn't getting stocked. You have to go to the East Side Madison Walmart for stock. Target still gets stocked on a regular basis, but the Walmarts are pretty shitty stocking wise. Dave Arnold's in the house. BPC. Go Spartans. Porter says, I prefer Costco, but Sam's Club is 2 hours closer to my house. John Myers says, Donruss sounds like a mass-produced premium product. Did you get a 10-gallon tub of mayo? I did not. I left empty-handed. I think that's the thing with Costco. You either go in and come out with $300 in your cart, or You just walk out without anything. And yesterday I walked out with nothing. Max says, how many do you think we see tomorrow? Bet there's one D-bag that has them. I bet we'll see at least one, probably two, maybe even three dealers. We'll see. This is going to be a fun exercise. How many dealers will have Costco Donruss boxes at the Madison Card Show tomorrow? I'm thinking three, which might take the under. So should we set the over under at 3.5? We'll set the over under at 3.5. I'm taking the under at 3. Dealers will have the Donruss mega boxes. We'll see. The over probably will hit. Dan says, and you'll see someone post an image online. Brian says, Gaylord sold at Pittsburgh Goodwill last night. I decided 2,100 miles was too far. What did that Gaylord go for? Because I know a couple people that were bidding on it. What did that? Anybody in here know what the Goodwill pallet sold for out in Pittsburgh last night? I would not drive $2,000 for a Goodwill pallet unless you could prove there was a Mike Trout autograph or Shohei Ohtani autograph or Michael Jordan rookie card. If I knew one of those was in there, then yeah, I'd drive 2,000 miles, or I'd fly and rent a box truck and drive home. Hellman's mayo sale at Costco next week. 2 kids, a lot of Sammys need mayo. Merle says, that's not a Kirkland water bottle. No, this is a Kroger water bottle. You know, surprisingly, the Kroger water and the Kirkland water taste very similar. Tastes like water. We do get Kirkland water. We also get Kroger water. Usually, I make more trips to the Pick and Save, which is a Kroger-owned company. I make more trips to Pick and Save than I do to, and it's not Pick and Save, it's Metro Market now, than I do Costco. Victor's in the house. Good morning. I don't have patience for Costco. Brian's here. Good morning, unless there's football cards to be bought. Max says, Dan, only reason I say there is because he was at my table at a different show talking shit about Pokemon and had to bite my lip. Guy brings nothing but overpriced retail wax. Not sure how he still affords to set up at shows. Merle says he's making it up in volume. Had 3 interviews this week, still no job. That's a bummer. Getting to the point where I may need to accept anything to keep money coming in. That is no good. Zach says sorry. Unicorn Cupcake says that's why I'm looking at a box factory. Not ideal, but pays the bills for now. Good luck either way. Porter says my buyer paid. He only had 1 feedback. I wish it had sold for more, but hey, I paid less than $1 for it. There you go. That's good. Buyer paid. Johnny M, good morning. Happy fuck it Friday. F-bomb. F-bomb. Release the F-bombs. Low Roller Scratcher is repeating exactly what I said. There you go. Thank you for spelling that out. Thanks, everyone. The last 3 interviews seem promising. I would be happy with an offer from either one. Just have to wait. And the waiting, as Tom Petty said, is the hardest part. Porter says, I didn't have a chance to be greedy. Received 0 offers during the buy it now window. Wow, that's surprising. Andy Mack says, good call. It was the bacon. I almost gave it a 7. Okay. So you got to try the other. The other kind is way better. So I would say the bacon kind, 7.5 at most. So I agree with your take. That's just, yeah. You got to go with the sausage, egg, and cheese. Merle says, Bo will refund your money. JW, good morning. Pizza and bacon. All it's left is cheese. Yum, yum. I don't like bacon on my pizza. And I've said, I think bacon is overrated. And certainly on pizza. I don't want bacon on my pizza. Steel cards, I'll take about just anything else. I'd rather eat pineapple on my pizza than bacon on my pizza. And onions. I hate onions on pizza. Good morning. Steel cards in the house. Sports card ripping teacher is here. The Costco boxes do have regular size downtowns. I can confirm. Listed and sold all during my lunch break. I need to remember where I hid the Halloween football. Nice. Yeah, and there are the regular downtowns, and it's probably going to be hard to hit those with the amount of boxes and cards that they printed, but they are in there. Unicorn Cupcake says that is a great idea for Halloween. Halloween. I plan on using a bundle to do a pack wars in the classroom. Should be fun. JW says eBay phone app still acting up on sending offers. Anyone else? Seems like the phone app is trying to figure out different ways of doing things. As a seller, the eBay app sucks. It has slightly improved, but when I send offers, I stopped doing offers from my phone like over a year ago because it doesn't even come up on my phone app anymore. So I do it just a bulk percentage, 10% off. Depending on what sometimes if it's an item that's like $200, it's been sitting there, maybe I'll send an offer for 170 or 150. But usually it's just a flat 10% off, and people can counter or do what they wish. Once those auctions hit those numbers, we'll cut big time. Absolutely. Sports Card Ripping Teacher says, if you list a regular downtown, I would take a pic next to the wrapper of the jumbo so they know it's a real. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea because there probably are people thinking the jumbos are just the regular size downtowns. John Meyer says, I wonder if these jumbo downtowns might increase demand of the historical jumbo cards and box toppers. I usually throw mine away because I prefer the standard size card. I don't think so. I think they're just going to go. It's going to be a quick fad, quicker than I even thought, 2 days. And it's going to go with the rest of the oversized box toppers that nobody wants. Red Light 34 is in the house. Good morning. Max says 2.5. Okay, 2.5. I'll take the over on 2.5 with the Costco boxes. I think there's 75 dealers tomorrow. Like 75 dealers tomorrow at the show. So 2.5. I'll take the over. I think 3 dealers. And I'm not saying like dealers will have like a whole table of them, but I think there will be 3 dealers that have like maybe a couple of them. Like, hey, I found 5 boxes. I want to recoup my money on a couple. So we'll see. Fun exercise. Sal Cards. Good morning. Sports Card Ripping Teacher says, life is too short to bet the under, but there is no sweeter sweat than an under bet. Sal says, does Collx have a required shipping window? I placed an order 2 weeks ago and seller hasn't shipped yet. Says he hasn't been active in over a month. Apparently not. I would say your SOL, I don't know how to open a request or anything, but if you've already paid, you're going to have to file a claim or something. I don't know how that process works either. Mikey says, good morning. My sales have slowed down quite a bit. My sales, I mentioned at the start of the show, if it wasn't for my auctions the last couple of days, my Wednesday, Thursday sales would have been atrocious if it was not for auctions. But that's why we do the things we do. It's like, it's like I laughed at, this is several months ago. It's a dealer who only did my show one time. And he's like, I did okay. He's like, I did twice as much in sales as I do at other shows. And I'm like, huh? And that's okay. You made twice the amount of money as other shows. And you're disappointed? Well, because one of the sales was like a big sale. It's still money. It counts the same at the bank. Like I had a good month, but it was because of, and so you have to find those. So I look at it as, because I qualify my months. Well, I had a big month, but I made some good purchases. Well, what do I need to do every month? Make good purchases. And so that just kind of that's the driver. Why have my sales been low the last couple of days? I haven't put a focus, and typically my sales are a little lower during Madison Card Show week because I'm kind of running around. So I've been focusing on my auctions. Like, well, if it wasn't for my auctions, well, that's what I've been focusing my time on. So it's like, hello, Bo, come on. That's the reason why your sales are still above where you need them to be. So, because if I didn't have the auctions, I probably would have listed the same stuff, but at buy it now. Maybe my sales would have been higher because some of them might have sold for lower than what I did at auction. So, so sometimes I need to take a step back and be like, hey, stop being a hypocrite. Stop making excuses and qualifying your sales. But my sales year to date, and I'm actually each month, I'm still my last 30 days, my sales are down 6%, but my quantity sold is up 8%. But I just need to make those sales, a lot of 99-cent auctions, driving the quantity up and my average sale down. So, we list better items, right? I've got to list better items. So, but I'm happy with 6.5% down over the last 30 days because then that's kind of skewed because it's only, it doesn't take into account September. I guess we could look at this month and compare it to the same period last month. And we take a look at the same period, the first 17 days of October, I'm only down 2.4% over the first 17 days of September. And my quantity sold is up 8%. So that's pretty good for the month of October. That's pretty good because both August and September I had really great sales. Now we take a look at this year's sales numbers and my sales stats year to date. Net sales up 38%. Quantity sold is up 0.1%. So I basically sold the same amount of cards that I did in 2023, but I'm making significantly higher per item, which is driving my sales dollars up, which is also what I like to do. That means I'm making more money for the same amount of work, or more money for less amount of work. Michael Renicke's in the house. Good morning. Sports Card Ripping Teacher says, have a direct line to drink Chicago's finest. Scott is here. He says, I sold my first card on Collx, but I can't figure out how to ship the card. So I can tell you that here's how I do it. And let me see if I can bring up my email. I want to log into a different account. So I do it through email. And this is one of the options they brought up. Would you like to see an option to have a web app where you can do everything on the web? So right now, so here I've got to ship this order. Ooh, it's been a few days, so I've got to get this order shipped out. So I'm going to share my screen. So I sold these cards to Eric. So you get an email. So I created my own email for Collx. So it's like Collx 1 million Cubs or something at gmail.com. So you get the email. It says 12 cards just sold to Eric. Package them up. So right there in your email, print shipping label. And it's already, it's sold for you. There's a packing list. Now, this is another thing that is somewhat annoying. So you have to, if you scroll down further, there's a print packing list. Don't want to share that on camera because it shows his address. So then we go to the packing list. And then you have to scroll down to the second page. And now we will share this tab. Let's bring that up. Do not pack me. So that shows the order. So 1984 top Steve Carlton. It's in SKU box 1 in. The Brad Lidge 2009 tops 206 is in box 1 AC. Cole Hamels, Jason Worth, all in box 1 AC. So it goes to your email. I created my own Collx email, so I don't have to sort through like my regular inboxes to find where the email was sent from Collx. So that's how I do it. I don't know if there's other ways to do it, but that's what I found is the most efficient way for me. I have my own Collx email. Email gets sent, print the label. It's already taken out of the payment is already, the shipping is already taken out of your money from the get-go. And then print the packing list and boom, away you go. Brian says, hopefully I can find the time to attend the card show tomorrow. I have to take my daughter to school. Have a great day. I'm like, school on Saturday? Oh, right now he's got to take his daughter to school, not tomorrow. Unicorn Cupcake says they forced overtime on us until 5 a.m. Saturday morning. Was planning on coming to the show, but hopefully next month. If I don't see it tomorrow, Saturday, November 30th is the next Madison Card Show. So we had a quick turnaround from September to October, and then now from October to November, it's going to feel like forever. But I've got a lot planned in those weeks between, so it'll be fun. Dallas Card Show, Rockford Card Show, Chicago Sports Spectacular. I'm going to have a run of how many weeks in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4 out of 5 weeks, because I think there's one weekend in there that I don't have a card show. So 4 out of 5 weeks with a card show. Jody says, Topps Update Chrome presale sold out in 15 minutes. Wow. I did not attempt to buy any Topps Chrome Update. Dan says, Goose Island 312. I'm a fan of the Goose. You guessed how many dealers will have the Donruss, but how much of an increase will their prices be? Guess that. I'm going to say $80. I'm going to say $80 a box. What's the price? What's the 24 Donruss Costco box? Maybe more. Let's see what they're going for online on eBay. Looks like let's see what they're selling for. Not what they're listed for. Let's see. Best offer was accepted. Looks like they're selling for about $100. Wow. People are actually buying them at $90 to $100. So I'm going to say $100. I'm going to say they're going to be $100 if anybody has them tomorrow at the show. The Goose is loose. Seems like yesterday I was hawking Goose at a Cubs game or a Pearl Jam concert. Yes. Mikey says, my card show is tomorrow in Peru, Indiana at the Circus Building. If you want to come, if you mention Hobby Evolution, you get 10% off your order at the show. How about that? Check it out. Peru, Indiana. Mention Hobby Evolution. I love it. JW says, my sales have slowed as well. Dan says, sometimes I can find 312 here. Really? In Korea? Wow. Max says, those people can't help themselves. Never going to make it thinking that way. Unicorn Cupcake says, I'm very happy with my beat to shit Bart Star for $1.29. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dan says, hello. Anybody home? Think, McFly, think. That dude from Duryea says, must be a Phillies fan buying all those World Series champions. Johnny M says, trying to figure out how to cancel my Collx account. Just don't see it working for me. I will stick to the other 5 sites I sell on. I don't use CDP, and way too many cards I try to list are not recognized. Yeah, I can't. If I was listing from my phone, I would not sell on Collx. If I did not use Card Dealer Pro, I would not sell on Collx. The only reason I'm selling on Collx is how easy it is to scan and upload using Card Dealer Pro. So I don't blame you. It's not going to work for everybody. Grinding for good. Happy Friday. Low Roller Scratcher says, my prediction, GameStop will be doing PSA Vault next. There you go. Hey, let's play Name That Player. At Mikey's booth only, by the way. Don't just go to some random dude in Peru, Indiana and say, hey, Hobby Evolution. The guy's going to look at you like, the fuck does that mean? Go to Mikey's booth and say Hobby Evolution. Let's play Name That Player. We've got a nice mix of baseball, football, basketball. Get my little paper thing here. Let's check out the leaderboard. Max has a lead of 41 points. Uncle Rich in second place with 28 points. Michael Renicky at 25. Card Hobbyist has 18. And Offbeat All-Stars, who just had to take his kid to school, has 11 points. And there you go, the rest of the leaderboard. Andy says, my son wants to collect all the rookie cards of Hall of Fame wide receivers. Unfortunately for him, some of those old guys are going to need to be second-year cards. Yeah. I don't even know. I am not good with Hall of Fame. I've got to look at all the Hall of Fame. Look it up. Matt says all junk wax football. No junk wax football today. I've got football, but it's all modern. Oh, I've got one 80s card in here. One 80s card. We're going to start with baseball. Start with baseball. And who can name this player? Who can name this player before I give a hint? Let's see. I got to bring my YouTube out on my phone. I don't think we've got any correct answers yet. Let's see. It's not Jones. It's not Young. It's not Hunter. It's not Guanipa. It's not Vlad. It's not Pache. It's not Acuna. It's not Sano. It's not Ramirez. It's not Dye. Oh, man, we're stumping you. We are stumping you today on this guy. Who watched the game last night? Who watched that game last night? Who watched that exciting finish to the Yankees-Guardians game last night? And this player may have been mentioned earlier in this program. Yes, Max picks up on the clues. Jean-Kenzie Noel. Big Christmas, they call him. I love it. I would have accepted Big Christmas. I heard that for the first time on the broadcast last night. I'm like, Big Christmas? That's a freaking awesome nickname. Big Christmas, Jean-Kenzie Noel. Max with the point. I thought that was going to be a gimme. I thought that was going to be an easy one. All right, next up. That was timely. Next up, we've got football. Who's this? Is Matt going to get this one? Or is Max going to get this one? Or Michael Renicky? Joe T is correct. Joe Thomas. We'll give it to Mike. If anybody has an issue with Joe T, let me know. We'll take Joe T. If anybody disagrees, speak now or forever hold your peace. Michael Renicky. Max says he has an issue. Does anybody else? We're not going to listen to Matt. Matt says depends on who was second. Max has an issue? Max probably has an issue because who was second? Joe T. Max was second, but he misspelled Thomas. And then Matt got Thomas before Max added the S. All right, Michael Renicky, you got the point. All right, this is timely. Who's this guy? And Matt says depends on who was second because Matt was right up there. All right, who's this guy? New York Mets. Also timely. Max with the point. Mark Vientos. He's had quite the postseason. Oh, was not Lindor. Max with the point. Max was first. Peter was second. Michael Renicky was third on that one. Max with the point. 43. All right, we're going back to football. A modern card of a not modern player. Modern card of a not modern player. Yeah, Vientos cards are selling really well right now. Terry Bradshaw is correct. Peter with the point. Michael was second. Peter first, Michael second, Max third. Matt was fourth. Terry Bradshaw. Peter with how many points now? Where's Peter at? Peter with 2 points now. Moving on up. We're going basketball next. Basketball next. And this is also kind of timely. Merle, you should have done it. Should have done it. All right. Basketball, and this is kind of timely. Why is this timely? Mark Jackson is correct. Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. He got Jackson and Mark in. There you go. Mark Jackson is correct. Michael Renicky with his second point today, up to 27. Oh, he's catching up to Uncle Rich. Uncle Rich not here today. All right. Sorry, Dan, that's your Korean internet is just not working. Baseball. We're going way back on this one. Way back on this one. Josh Gibson is correct. Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. You've got fast internet. Michael Renicky with Josh Gibson. Another point. All right. The next one's for Matt Like. He might get this one. Michael and Uncle Rich now tied. 28 points each. All right. Next up. Football. It's not junk wax, but it's 80s. Who's going to get it? Ronnie Lott, Michael Renicky. Wow, he is fast today. Michael Renicky with the point. SoCal guy was second. Matt Like was third. Max was fourth. Grinding for Good was fifth. And Michael Renicky getting these, typing in the full names and still beating everybody. How about that? Michael Renicky with 29 points. And he moves into second place, sole possession of second place. All right, next up, we're going back to basketball. This is kind of a tricky one. I thought it would be tricky. If you're a basketball fan, though, you might get it. Yeah, is Michael you behind me? Where you at? Victor wants to know where he can get that fast internet. Dave says Michael's internet is faster than mine. Michael with that T3 connection. Next up, we got basketball. Merle's like Sean Kemp. It's not Sean Kemp. 2000s basketball. I think this is going to be hard. I bet you could name basketball players for the next 3 hours and probably not correctly guess this basketball player. It's not Sean Kemp. It's not Gary Payton. It's not a Seattle Supersonic. It's not Penny Hardaway. Not Grant Hill. This card is from the early 2000s. So here it is. Ooh, Marty Conlon. That's a good guess. It's not Marty Conlon. Let's see. It's not Chris Jackson. Swen Nader. I like that. Going back to the 70s on that reference. Swen Nader. No, it's not Swen Nader. It's not Ilgauskas. It's not Joe Wolf. Not Houston. Arenas, though, it is Gilbert Arenas. Matt Like with the point. Oh, wait. Matt, I got to take that back. Max was just ahead. Max and then Matt. Gilbert Arenas. Matt, I am sorry. Showed up first on StreamYard, but on YouTube is the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker goes to Max. He was first on YouTube. Max with the point. All right, next up. Matt's protesting. All right, football. This is a college uniform card. Michael Renicky was the fastest, but he's also incorrect. It's not CJ Stroud. It's not Jimmy. It is former Bear Justin Fields. Max with the point. Justin Fields. Max was first. Dave was second. SoCal guy was third. Max with the point. He's at 45. All right, next up. Michael Renicky wants more Badgers. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 left. We got baseball, 2 football, and basketball. So we're going baseball here. This should be easy. You is correct. I'll take first name on this one. And Michael, he's fast anyway. He typed in the last name also and still got first. Michael Renicky, you Darvish. Michael with 30 points. All right. How many? 3 left. 2 football and a basketball. All right. Next, we go football. It's not super modern. It's early to mid 2000s. All right. Here we go. Where are my Bears fans at? Matt Forte is correct. Michael and Max were both fast. Michael with the edge because he's got that fast internet. Michael Renicky. Matt Forte. 31 for Michael. All right, next up. Michael Renicky, Bears fan, Michael Renicky. Ooh, Rashawn Salam. Good answer. All right, basketball. I got to find where his name is. Now, this I think is early 2000s, but this is a super easy one you're going to get. Early 2000s card, but he really started in the 90s. This was probably towards the end of his career. Not Scottie Pippen, not Michael Jordan, not Sean Kemp, not Matt Geiger. Peter Steinberg gets the point. It's Jason Kidd. Peter with the point. 2 points today for Peter. Jason Kidd. And Peter has 3 now. Let's see where we at. Peter now tied with Dave and Scotty Dubs and Matt Like and AA Cards with 3 points apiece. Unicorn Cupcake says, I protest. All right, let's see. Does he have a case? All right, here's how the comments rolled. Merle said Jordan. Max said Pippen. Max said Kemp. Michael Renicky said Geiger. Peter Steinberg said Kidd. Unicorn Cupcake was second. Max was third. Dat Dude from Duryea was fourth. And Matt Like was fifth. So there you go. Let's see. Where are we at? Max says, take a point away from Matt Geiger. Our last card of the day, we go back to football. And it's I'll take first name, last name, or nickname of this guy. Mid 2000s, I guess. Let's see. It is not Rice. It is not Bo. It is not Fidge. It is not Dion. It is not. Okay, I'll give it to Michael Renicky because LaShawn. It is LaShawn. Not spelled the same, but we would give LaShawn. It's LaShawn McCoy. But Michael Renicky. There you go. LaShawn McCoy. Michael Renicky with the point. I'm like, no, it's not LaShawn. It's LaShawn. That would have been a tricky one. Michael gets the point. But I don't know. Would I have accepted LaShawn? Because that's a different name. There was, remember LaShawn Johnson? I know Michael Renicky probably remembers LaShawn Johnson, former Packers running back. I would have accepted Shady McCoy. Merle said Shady. There you go. So Michael Renicky with the point. And that concludes today's game of Name That Player. Max still with a pretty commanding lead of 45 points. But Michael made a big run today with his super fast internet. He's got 32 points, and leapfrogs Uncle Rich, who has 28. Card Hobbyist hanging in there at 18 points. Offbeat All Stars has 11. That dude from Duryea with 8, and SoCal Guy with 7 points. Unicorn Cupcake says, this game makes me upset at myself. I'm not sure I should play anymore. Keep playing. Michael also knew the right answers sometimes. Yeah, but you thought Jason Kidd was Matt Geiger. I will say, from a distance, that actually does look like Matt Geiger. I mean, if at a quick glance, I'll give that to you. He looked tall. All right. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. I've got auctions running. Another batch of about 100 auctions went live last night. All football cards last night. What did I list? Do I have my foot? I listed, I think, more Brady and Manning. I listed some color refractors. I sold a David DeCastro. I don't think I talked about this the other day, but I sold a David DeCastro. It was actually in the bulk buy from the Singles Club, and it was a gold refractor. David DeCastro, I think, offensive lineman, Pittsburgh Steelers. I would have listed it if I would have went through and listed buy it nows. I would have listed it for $2.50. Since it's a gold refractor, maybe $3 or $4, but no more than, I wouldn't have listed it for $5. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to put it at auction. It's a gold refractor. If it sells for 99 cents, I don't care. It didn't sell for 99 cents. It sold for more. It sold for more than $2.50. It sold for $46. I'm like, I wonder if there's any more David DeCastro in there. There is. There's a black refractor. I think those are numbered to like 199 or 175 or something. So, so there's a David DeCastro. We'll see what the black refractor goes for. So, those are the nice little surprises. And I don't know the football market. I was watching a YouTube show the other day talking about some of the rookies that sell, and I'm like, shit, I need to pay more attention to some of this stuff. Because I don't know the football market that well. I know it better than basketball, but certainly not as well as baseball. I'm pretty good at the baseball market, but football I'm lacking. So it's been fun putting some of these auctions up. Like, oh wow, that's worth a lot more than I thought it was. So that's the good side of running some of these auctions. Let's see. Unicorn Cupcake says, good luck at the Madison Card Show. Thank you. Michael says, visit me tomorrow at the Madison Card Show. Michael Renicky will be set up at the Madison Card Show. Max will be set up at the Madison Card Show. Who else is in the chat? That's dealing at the Madison. I think those are the only two in the chat today, right? Bronco wasn't here this morning. Yeah. Matt Like, will I see you at the Madison Card Show tomorrow? I saw Matt at last month's show. Let's see. Michael says we can play the game live. When I think we have, right? That's actually how the whole Friday Name That Player started. Was Bronco did it on his channel, and we did it live at the Madison Card Show. I'm like, this is a fun game. We started with just opening packs, and then now we're all over the place. Max says, Mike, I bought your tables since you no-showed last month. Apparently, Bo didn't tell you. Uh-oh. Not your spot, but the actual tables. Let's see. Unicorn Cupcake. That is tempting. Will you be there next month? Michael says, I will be. Check Sports Card Illustrated older YouTube shows. I played against East Coast Tom last year and won. There you go. Check it out. Sports Card Illustrated, Bronco. Name that player. Alrighty. So hopefully I see y'all tomorrow at the Madison Card Show on John Nolen Drive at the Sheraton Hotel. Show hours 9 to 3. You can come early if you wish. 140 dealer tables in 2 ballrooms plus the mezzanine. Free admission. So come out, have a good time in Madison, Wisconsin tomorrow. No Hobby Evolution tomorrow, but we'll review the show on Sunday morning, probably 8:30 a.m. Central Time on Sunday. So have a great Friday. Like and subscribe. Shop my eBay store. And if I don't see you in Madison tomorrow, I'll see you here on Sunday morning.